All right, so I just wanted to make this quick video about how I personally go about personal branding. So why should you listen to me? Well, I've put in a lot of research into figuring out the best way to do personal branding. It's still a test subject for me because I'm just getting started on my personal branding journey, but I've compiled hours upon hours of research and seen the different ways that people do personal branding, and this is what I've come out to the conclusion of how the best way to do personal branding is, in terms of having a personal brand that builds authority while also being able to generate sales and revenue for your business. This is a detailed breakdown of what I'm wanting to get out of my personal brand, my social media content, what my plan is for the foreseeable future. It's broken down into three main sections with an overall sales funnel that is made up from those three main parts. So the first part is the short form content, second part long form content, third is email newsletter. All three of these provide for the foundation of the sales funnel. So they all work together to create the overall sales funnel, and they're kind of the bottom foundation of the sales funnel. And one thing I think that you should be upfront with your audience about your intention to sell. Don't be shy about selling. Don't try and hide it behind other things. We're all here to promote our business and to provide value for people, and it just so happens that you are able to provide some value for free and some value is paid for. So I don't think there's shame in being upfront about that, because at the end of the day, this is all a transactional thing. I think you should always provide free value, but you should also, have premium services that are paid for and that you are paid to represent your value that you provide. So anyways, back to this. So short form content, SFC, the main idea of this is to generate eyeballs. So when people are viewing short form content, which is reels, shorts, or TikToks, they're not in a buying mode. So people aren't watching this content with the thought of buying in mind. Instead, they're more brainless scrolling, hoping to get that dopamine hit of, oh, I just watched something educational, I watched something that's gonna help me in my business. So for me, what that looks like is looking at my shorts or my reels that are providing them with information on how to handle taxes. So it'll be tax code stuff, and they'll take that and they'll be like, oh, now I know how to save money on taxes through this. I'm gonna put that in the back of my mind, right? And they're not in the mode of, oh, I wanna buy something or I wanna pay this guy to do the tax preparation or the tax saving strategies for me, but rather they are in the mode of, oh, I just want to gather information, get the dopamine hit that I'm doing something that is productive, so that they don't feel like they're wasting their time. So the way I look at it is there's three main objectives from the short form content. So there's views and followers. Those are the first two. These build the audience and the fan club. These are important factors because you need to build a following behind you. You're trying to build that cult-like following behind you, the people who consistently show up to each of your new videos and they keep coming back for more information. And the third thing is lead magnets. So short form content is a great way to get introductory lead magnets out there to your viewers. So what this could be is free info in exchange for an email. So you're giving them an ebook, or you're giving them a quick 2-hour workshop, 1-hour workshop, whatever it may be. You're giving them free value in exchange typically for their email and their name. And we'll go over email stuff later. So there's a couple different types of content, and I'm gonna look at it from the lens of how my short form content is, and you can put your own spin on it to basically adjust it to whatever your personal brand is going to be about. So for me, it's tax content. I'm a tax strategist. I help people save money on taxes, but also a little bit of business content, and I want to sprinkle in some other things, which we'll talk about in a second. So the majority of my content is going to be tax and business educational. So it's reels like I've been doing. So it's talking heads where I'm just explaining a tax concept, how you can take advantage of it and why you should take advantage of it, right? And I'm gonna start, I think that on top of doing reels and TikToks, that adding in branded carousels, so keeping a formula or a template for how you're going to do carousels is a great way to do that. And so what that is pretty much restating what you did in the short form content reels, except putting it on text so people can swipe through and get the information that way. But overall the goal is still the same. And the key here is to have a strong call to action to either your long form content, a newsletter, or a lead magnet. So this could be telling them, hey, if you want more detailed information, go check out my YouTube where I go more in depth on X topic, right? Or, hey, if you like this and you want a weekly newsletter, sign up for my newsletter with the link in my bio. Or last, hey, if you thought this was helpful and you want more free information, then download my tax-free ebook, link in the bio. And so that all goes back to the lead magnet thing where they give you their email, you give them information, free value, right? And so the purpose of this content is to build authority. So you're positioning yourself as an authoritative person in your subject. Now, I think it's really important that if you're going into something that you don't have a lot of experience with, or you're not knowledgeable about the subject, then you shouldn't position yourself as an authority, and rather you should twist it to be, hey, I'm going through this process, this is what I'm learning as I go through it, these are the mistakes I made, these are the successes I had, and convey it that way so that you're giving them the story of you going from zero to hero. And so that's another way that you can twist it if you are not in the authoritative space or don't feel ready to be an authoritative figure in your space. So the next thing that I'm trying to work on implementing is motivational/lessons. So this is again short form content still, but it's more lifestyle of an entrepreneur. So this can be reels and tweet carousels of things I'm learning. So here's some examples of a guy that I love. So his name's Dalen. He is a phenomenal guy, and he just puts out incredible content. So it'll be just him literally sitting at his desk like this for hours upon hours, and it'll just be these quick cuts to music. Looks really professional, looks really good. And then he has other things where he's like with his friends doing the same like this. Same idea though, just business motivation of like, hey, you got to put in the hours. And then another example is like Hormozi, how he does these tweet carousels where it's like how to stay poor. Think someone else winning means you losing. And so it's these lessons that he's learning along the way that he's implementing into his life and then trying to advise his audience to learn from as well. So that's kind of the business/motivational/lessons section. And I think that it's good to have these types of things because it broadens your audience to more of your overarching sections. So like for me, on tax strategy is my specific, but business as a whole. And so I think it just generates eyes. Once again, the goal of short form content is to generate eyeballs, and these are super popular, especially right now. And these really help with building an audience. Not really much authority is built through them, but it builds an audience and helps people follow along with your story. And then, the remaining 5% I think should be just personal or real person check, as I'm going to call it. So these are, once a month you do a photo dump or something like that of just what's going on in your life recently. Just kind of showing, the more personal side so people can see it behind the scenes. You are a real person. You're not just this guy babbling about whatever topic it is. So for me, that's tax content. I want people to know that I'm not just this sit behind the desk, crunch numbers guy. I want them to know that I'm doing things and I'm a real person, right? And so this can also be, stories whenever you're doing something on top of those photo dumps. These are also just more of they're very low effort post, and they just show personality and that like, yes, I am a real normal functioning person, right? So examples of these, so here's one of Iman Gadzhi doing it. Here's another of Dalen again. It's just, they're basically posting multiple pictures, just a photo dump of kind of what's been going on lately, just to show that they're a real person, right? And so the purpose of these is to build authenticity. So next, moving on to the long form content side of things. So LFC, long form content. And so there's two types of this that I personally post, and once again, you shift it towards what you specialize in, whatever your topic is. So for me, the first one is tax educational. And so as I mentioned earlier, These are where we're going to go further into detail about the tax topics, about the business topics, and putting in a little bit of the more business focused rather than tax focused, just kind of sprinkling those in, right? And so these lead to more lead magnets or discovery calls. You're still focusing on lead magnets because the audience in YouTube is still not in buy mode, but they're a little bit more invested, right? Versus just scrolling on TikTok or Instagram. They're intentionally watching a video, clicking on it, and they might not watch the whole thing, but they're at least going to stick around for more than 10 seconds, right? But yeah, they're still not in buyer mode, so we're still trying to do call to actions to the lead magnets, give out more free value, get them on the email list. Personally, I prefer a very limited editing style, so I want to present the info in a clear and digestible way. If you want more examples of this, so Tom Noske, I believe I'm saying that right, is a great example. It's just him talking, and then he'll have the iPad working, showing his notes, all that, right? And I think that that's a great way to do it. Another guy that does a great job of this is Charlie Morgan. Similar concept, just him in the corner talking with a slideshow, or he's drawing as he goes. That's personally what I think is best. Now there's other guys like Iman Gadzhi, Matt Gray. They do a lot more detailed editing and have a lot of images, and I think that's great, but that's just personally not what I'm at right now. I'm personally going to try with this first. Not saying that's right or wrong. I think both can work. Obviously, you've seen people be successful in both ways, similar to like morning routines. Some people have a morning routine, some people don't. There's people that are successful both ways. It's just about whatever fits your current situation best. So these are all going to be posted on my Harrison Patton Tax and Business YouTube, which is what you're watching right now. And then the other style of video that I will be posting is my vlog. I call it Diary of a Founder. So these are videos that are a personal passion project for me. I do them pretty much weekly. I've been going for about a year now. And basically I document what I do and tell the story of what I did in the week in a cinematic way while just maintaining authenticity, right? It might not always be the most interesting thing, but I'm always going to show what's actually happening. I'm not going to try and make it seem like I'm not just sitting at my desk for 6 hours every day, right? And before taking a break. And this is something I'll continue to do for myself. I personally enjoy it. It's a side project for me and just kind of a passion project that I love doing. I love doing the color grading, the B-roll, talking about different things that I'm interested in and what I'm learning throughout the week. And obviously the GOAT for this is Dalen. He's the one that inspired me to do it. His videos they're so inspirational, and every time I watch one, it just gets me up and gets me going. Yeah, so third thing is the email newsletter. So this is another part of the sales funnel, and this is where we're really going to start pitching our services rather than lead magnet. Through the lead magnets plus regular signups for the newsletter, we will acquire emails that will then be added. So if they sign up through the lead magnet, you want to deliver the promised value, but then they'll be on your email chain, right? If they directly sign up for the newsletter, then they'll begin the sequence right away. And so basically this is an email sequence that I'm writing. I'm in the process of it right now. It is 5 to 6 emails, all with a call to action to get a discovery call on board with my sales team at somewhere within the email. And so both lead to the same email sequence, and here's a rough outline of how I do it. So the first email is an intro and what to expect from the email list. 2 is solve one of the biggest problems for the person, for your avatar, your audience. 3rd is a valuable insight. Emails 4 to 6 are solve more of their problems. Basically, you want to continue to give value, show that you're going to help them be able to fix their problems. And at each of these emails, you want to put a call to action. So it can be like, P.S. if you're ready to work with me directly to pay less money in taxes, click the link here, and your link to your training or to schedule a discovery call. So yeah, it's just a 6 email thing that you just want to basically insert who you are, then provide value, and call to action to take that next step and schedule a call with your team so you can start getting them into the services and getting people on board as clients, right? Because when they're reading emails, they're heavily invested and they're much more in that buyer mode because they're taking a lot more time to process everything rather than, once again, just the scrolling where it's just dopamine hits. And after that opening email sequence, they'll just be placed on your newsletter, whether it be weekly, bi-weekly, whatever you want to do. And once again, yeah, statistically, people are more likely to schedule a call from this because the investment into reading the email is a lot higher than just on social media. So yeah, just to summarize the overall sales funnel, so you start with short form content, and that can lead you into the long form content or directly to the email/newsletter, which is generated from the lead magnets. Long form content generates you into the email newsletter. And so the hope from the email newsletter is that you're able to generate discovery calls. And so this is what my team does. This is how we do the overall sales funnel. So we do a discovery call for free where we just kind of see the situation, see if it's somebody that we would want to work with, right? And so this is for free. And then in my situation, we do basically an audit. We do a consultation where we look at their situation. And from there, we take what they give us, all their financials, all that, and we tell them, hey, this is where you could be saving money on taxes. This is where we see improvement in your processes, stuff like that. And this is a paid for thing. And so from there, after the consultation with me, they will be pitched on a monthly retainer service. And that is where they come on board as a client and we work together month to month and continuously to improve their tax strategy, do their bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll, the whole 9 yards, and help them save money on taxes. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the sales funnel and how I'm doing my personal branding and my marketing. I think that it's a strong strategy. There's obviously room for improvement, but this is how I'm going to be going about it, and this is what I'm going to be testing for now. So hope you enjoyed, hope you found value in the video, and I hope that you're able to gain some sort of insight or some sort of idea of how you want to go about doing your marketing and your branding for your business. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe for more in the future, and I'll catch you next time.